Light Freemasonry Tribute to Mark Passio. Light Freemasonry number 93 is the commissioned art piece given to Mark Passio for his phenomenal work at whatonearthishappening.com. His website includes video seminars and podcasts that have helped to free the minds, hearts, and souls of many people who are now aware of the current control system. The tapestry of information is helping to transform human consciousness with knowledge of the occult and the nefarious premeditated agenda of the ruling elite we are fighting against today. Build Church, a Free Your Mind podcast with over 100 great interviews inspired by this groundbreaking work, commissioned this piece as a gift for Mark Passio. Made specifically for Mark, this art piece is part of the Esoteric Fine Art series from Cosmic Tech Lab, the multimedia studio of Jana ESP. On April 8, 2017 in Philadelphia, the art piece was delivered to Mark by me, Rose Davidson, aka Sovereign Sister. As I was happy to be involved, his work was extremely beneficial to me as well. I was able to catch him after his debut of No Masters, No Slaves from the hardcore anarchist punk rock band, The Founders, soon to be released. The following information is taken from Podcast 54 from What on Earth is Happening regarding Freemasonry. If you are new to occult material, it is highly recommended to start with podcast number 1 as to be given the keys to facilitate mastery of truth and ascension to higher consciousness.
Last week, we left off discussing Freemasonry as an allegorical tradition, as a tradition in which ultimately what is attempting to be conveyed to the initiate of this tradition is an understanding of morality and an understanding of natural law principles. And this understanding is taught in an indirect way in Freemasonry. It is taught through a system of symbols, allegories, and rituals. That is what Freemasonry is at its essence. Okay, and we made the distinguishment between true esoteric Freemasonry and Lodge Masonry as it is practiced today, how that has been kind of watered down and degraded over the years. It's not in a good state. Freemasonry is ultimately trying to build a world of freedom that is in harmony with the natural law. Dark Masonry teach the idea of the authority vested in man, of which there is no such thing. That's one of the biggest lies that can ever be taught, bought, or sold, and basically continue toward an authoritarian path, which is leading us into the system of slavery, which we talk about on this show. And what we are endeavoring to teach here is the true unadulterated teachings and the true meaning behind the symbols and allegories of the original unadulterated tradition of Freemasonry. So Hiram Abiff is a master builder who King Solomon basically recruits to build his temple. He's skilled in the working of metals. This is very symbolic because alchemy is about the working with metals, and it's about changing base metals into higher quality metals like gold. And this is really ultimately an allegorical symbol for changing base consciousness into higher level consciousness. So he's an alchemist, Hiram Abiff. Okay, he's not just a builder of a physical building. Okay, this is just a symbol. He's a builder of a better form of consciousness and a better brain and ultimately a better human being. Okay, because the tradition of Freemasonry is ultimately about the brain and the heart, and those two very, very powerful centers of consciousness actually being built to higher states and to ultimately work together, and not in opposition, but in unity consciousness, again, such that we become beings that as we think, so we feel, and so we act. And we do that in a moral way and in a way that is keeping with natural law, as we've discussed so much on this show. Hiram Abiff is like the Masonic Christ figure or hero savior that dies and then needs to be resurrected, and that's what Hiram Abiff represents. The light needs to be resurrected. The truth needs to be resurrected. Living in harmony with natural law needs to be resurrected. Okay? So this is a death and rebirth story. To go within and find the courage, the desire, and the knowledge to resurrect yourself out of that sorry condition of consciousness. That's what ultimately this story is about, because it's ultimately attempting to teach the same message as the esoteric form of Christianity. That's the golden rule. Treat others as you would be treated, period. Live in harmony with natural law. Respect others' natural law rights. There is no authority. The Creator is the authority. Man is not. The end. The concept of the lost word, which Hiram Abiff was murdered for, okay, is the word equilibrium, okay? But it's not a word. It's a state of consciousness. It means the balance that one must arrive at in order to come up to a higher level of consciousness, a coming together of the sun and the moons, okay? It's the balance between the left and the right brain hemispheres, and it's the balance between thought, emotion, and action working in harmony with each other, okay? And it is ultimately about changing one's thoughts. It is about the process of transformation and ascension in consciousness.